Do 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 do.
Battles in the land and on the sea. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 4 of the Missouri RINO Watch. I am your host, Joshua Lehman, and this is my gifted bearded muse, Mr. Brattin.
We are on the air, Josh. How are you today, buddy?
I'm well, my friend.
Good.
And
good.
we have a phenomenal guest in-house.
We do?
Tonight. Yes.
Ah.
Yes, you didn't notice it?
I didn't. I thought that was Sam's replacement tonight.
No, it could be Sam's replacement. He's definitely handsome enough for it.
Yeah.
We have the ability to have
Clean it up, Josh. Clean it up.
one of the best and brightest in our conservative caucus, our Senator, Mr. Rick Brattin.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome,
sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate the fact that you drove out here to this amazing studio.
Beautiful.
Boy, this is all Sam's creation.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely wonderful.
Except for that flag. Somebody else made that.
And Sam is so selfless that he won't be on camera tonight because we had to give the camera and the mic to you.
Nice.
Right.
Well, thank you very much, Sam.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely. So the before we get into that, we just want to real quick touch on our sponsors. So first and foremost, we are talking about Nanny Health and Fitness, right? So Nanny Health and Fitness is individual. She is out in Northwest Platte, and she has the ability to do fitness from afar. Giving you the ability to do fitness and personal training over an application. So if you are a wife of a Marine who is on tour and you're with him, then you have the ability to stay fit while everybody else is doing it. And at the same time, she also offers workouts on demand and the ability for you to come to her boot camp classes on a regular basis.
Which Sam is going to probably have to do because he did not do push-ups tonight.
Yeah.
Last week he did push-ups.
Well, that's right, and I think that
Yeah.
may be why he's panicking a bit.
He might be. He might be. He's not mic'd up, so he can't defend himself.
Well, we can hear people, but we just can't hear them great.
Okay.
People, you mean us?
Yeah.
Huh.
You sound great.
Thanks. Thanks, Sam.
How do we sound, Sam?
Well, you guys are going through that one, so.
Oh, good.
Ah.
Good.
Well, so far, so good.
So far, so good.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Spotlight's on
Maybe
me.
your mic in, I don't know.
Oh, that's what we forgot to do. You forgot to plug it in.
Not plugged in?
No, it's plugged in. It's,
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so then you were
This
just
is the devil at work.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Bear with us, everybody.
Well, this
we're
is the
just
devil's
fighting the
business. Okay. And the senator is getting up and walking away.
He's leaving.
He's in his
He's
truck.
leaving.
He's heading down the road right now, and he
We've
just
lost it. The
he
show's
just
over.
passed the junkyard, and he's not coming back. He's not coming back.
I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I mean, we're going.
Okay.
We're live.
All right. We're
Oh, we're live. Oh, we're live.
We're live.
Oh, okay. Hey, we're live, everybody.
yeah. Okay. Well, it's still not working.
We're going to make do with it.
Okay,
We're gonna make do.
with it.
We're gonna make do.
All right. Well, anyways, the good thing is that the cameras work. Okay?
Great.
Oh, well, that's
So-
good. That's all we need. That's
you
all.
want to make it through. Anyways, so thank you so much for coming into the studio tonight. Obviously, you have a very busy schedule, and your wife did an amazing job of helping us get this all arranged. So truly, thank you for coming in and showing your support to what we're doing. Absolutely. So really, man, just so that everybody understands what our goal is tonight, is we wanted to give you a platform just because there's not a lot of fair media out there, and the conservative values that you espouse and that you fight for, as well as the ones that majority of Missouri care about. We wanted to be able to make sure that you were able to speak to the things that matter, mainly the bills that you're fighting for right now, and of course the fact that you are running for U.S. Congress, which we're super excited about. So we'll go ahead and kind of get into it. Just the SB 923. So this is the bill that just had the testimony done last week or this past week, correct?
This week.
So go ahead and just give us an overview of what it is, where we're at, and what's planned for next.
Yeah, so it's a bill that deals with protecting young minds online acts. Pornography is pervasive. It's in every single device. I have 5 kids, and I realize just how the bombardment is there. And this is just a way to put a filter on, kind of like you have on your iPhone. You just type in your little access code, boom, you have access to your iPhone, whatever, your device. It's kind of the same concept, but when it's an obscene pornographic website, it would put that filter on it, and it would start from the internet service provider. People have no idea just how crazy the pornography has become. You know, when pornography was first in existence, it was just just
It was basic.
Basic.
It was basic.
But now
you
it
were
is
getting
like
research
now it is like
recommendations.
really crazy sadistic stuff.
Yeah.
And these kids have their hands on it. And we had testimony of people that had been subjected to it and had become victims of people who were acting this out on them, and it's happening everywhere. And it's something that we have to do, and that's my charge as a senator is to protect those who can't protect themselves. And I think people expect that.
Yeah.
And these people, the internet service providers, they have this huge apparatus that they realize is unhinged, and they have that capability, and it's our job to ensure that they're utilizing those tools. And to me, that's just a huge issue that we've got to fix.
Yeah.
Is this so this would be different than the regular parental locks that are on computers now, right? That you can block some stuff, but some is still getting through.
Or it's just some people don't even have those blocks. But sorry,
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, no. So you have that capability. It's in the end user. So that's really good when you have it on the home computer. Like back in the day, you had the centralized computer in the family room, and everybody had their eyes on what was going on. Well, now everybody has a device. I mean, look at all these kids that have a device. And the capability of getting all that software and that sort of thing. So that's where the dynamic is so much different. The ability to guard what your kids are able to access, because it's through so many facets.
Yeah.
So it's expanded way beyond the capability for parents to really keep up with. Not to mention, my kids probably know more about technology than I do.
Yeah.
So for me to be able to have a system in which to protect them, when in the end these internet service providers, have that capability. They have the technology to apply that to where, like I said, it's a simple. They just have a deal where you put in an access code. If you want to access it, this is no different. I mean, you have that capability to access it. But kids that don't have the ability, or should not have the ability, to access that unfettered.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same concept of when you went into the convenience store, you saw the magazine rack, and all the Hustler magazines or whatever, they had the little plastic cover on it.
Yeah.
It's not inhibiting you from buying that magazine. There's no
Just keeping those innocent eyes off.
innocent eyes
Yeah.
off of it, and
Yeah.
it's the exposure of it. So it is. I mean, look at our schools; they're even issuing laptops, and kids are
Right.
able to get all this stuff.
Or they
So-
go anywhere, right? I mean, you could go anywhere.
Yes.
My kid. That's one of the main reasons I don't want my kids to go anywhere right now, is because they could go somewhere and they could have access to something. They could type in something wrong. My kid's always asking for like pictures of like Mario and all those different characters, right? I typed in, because they're big on Mario, that's resurfacing obviously, but they love to draw stuff, and so they like to see images and they do their own renditions. I typed in Princess Peach one time,
Yes.
and I was like, oh my God, I'm never letting you do this by yourself. Like, we literally have a rule in our house that you cannot search images, even though what they're looking for is completely innocent. And my oldest is 9, middle is 7, the youngest is 5. Like, I know what pornography did to me as a young kid, and by the grace of God, I was delivered from that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I would never want that, because like I tell them all the time, I say, look, it's not about you not being able to see it. I trust you. I don't trust what's out there, and if you see it, there's no, like you said, there's no unseeing it. It's imprinted on their brain, and this would be something that would completely, well, maybe there'd be a way somehow, like somebody gets the code or whatever, but I mean a huge fail-safe for us as parents to be able to ensure that we can have at least a little bit more peace of mind when our kids are out, because it's already hard enough now. Yeah.
Well, I was researching, giving the testimony on the bill, and Pornhub in 1 year, the entire world on one website of Pornhub watched, it was almost 500,000 years worth of time on one site.
Jeez.
That is how just
Pervasive
and how crazy it is. And we see all this sex crimes and the normalization. It's just rampant.
Yeah.
And to say that this isn't like a root cause of
absolutely
that, you will never convince me otherwise.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. And so to me, what's incredible, what I learned through my journey of coming out of that trash is, it imprints on your mind, like scientifically, right? It's not just like theoretical. Oh, it's imprinting. It actually imprints on your mind stronger than anything else. And it's funny because Jesus warned about this a long time ago. He said, any man who commits sexual immorality that's the only sin a man commits against himself.
Yes.
So you have to pull yourself out of that. That is an actual detrimental thing that can happen to you. I got an email from certified mental health professional who works directly with pornography addicts, right? And she deals with this. She talks about like the newly connected neurons from what's called the neuronal pathway. Porn forms new, long-lasting pathways in the brain, and it's such a fierce competitor that very few, as far as any other things happening in the brain, that very few, if any other activity, can compete with it, including sex with a real partner. And it teaches you to be attracted to images instead of individuals. I mean, you're absolutely right. That is at the crux. Yep. It is the absolute source of all of the horrible things that we're dealing with, because it implants, it starts desensitizing, and it continually grows, and it's a monster.
To dive in on the testimony, and I know we've got to move on a different subject.
No, you're fine. No.
But this was heart-wrenching. So this girl had experienced the most tragic rape that you could even imagine, but she had been fed
for
by
3
this,
years, right?
Yes, years. So she didn't even realize at the time she was being just brutally raped in every unimaginable way. Didn't even realize it because she thought that was normal.
Right.
And to think all these children, like you said, one word search in Google and an image search, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And little kids accidentally
all the time,
even mistyping a word. It's crazy. So,
well, especially with what is it called, autocorrect when it finishes your words or whatever.
Yes.
You never know what's going to come out of that.
Right.
And that girl, that's another thing too, that it is not just accidentally stumbling upon it. It's also predators who use that as a grooming source, like they did to that girl for 3 years, to desensitize her. Not only that, to traumatize her mentally, to make her feel like she was weird and strange because she didn't get down with the kind of things he was sending her. That is the kind of stuff that you're standing in the gap for. And I have this hard time, and I know a lot of the parents out there feel the same way, of not wanting to go into a rage fit over anybody who would dare stand against this. This should be like if any unanimous bill goes through the Senate, this should be the exact one. It should be unanimous in the Senate. It should be unanimous in the House. Only perfection that should happen to it is making it so concrete that no one can find loopholes to get around it. But instead, you thank you for fighting for that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
thank you.
100%. 100%.
What do we got there? What else?
So the next one. So tell us about, and this is another one near and dear to majority of Missourians' hearts, is your abortion ban after the heartbeat, SB 778. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's mirrored after Texas's heartbeat ban that they did. It's been huge in terms of movement with that. So the heartbeat ban absolutely is critical, but the second component is the cause of action to allow people to go after Planned Parenthood. That's what has them just shaking in their boots.
And sending their demons out.
And, I was supposed to have a bill hearing this week, and we had a lot of shenanigans on the floor that really, put us in odds with time to get to that bill. So I go down to the bill here to do the bill hearing. I get told, hey, you're not going to be able to present this bill. Sorry, just the time's not there because it's such a very intense bill and a lot of people here, and it was packed. And let me tell you, packed. People out in the hallways screaming, hollering. You could hardly hear in the hearing room. We finally get done with the committee hearing. I go to walk out, and I was conversing with he's a highway patrolman friend of mine. just conversing. All of a sudden, I hear screaming, "Senator Brattin!" And it was like the entire like hallway like descended upon me, and
Sounds
they
like an insurrection.
Yeah.
it really was crazy like that on just the. I can't explain the
vitriol. Like
the
I
vitriol
saw some of the videos, and those people were I mean masked, of
Yes,
course,
yeah.
at the same time, and just it was like the best thing I could say is like a horde of demons, man.
Yes.
It was horrendous, and you handled yourself very well compared to the way I think I would have, or many other people.
He's a Marine.
That's true. That's true.
Well, it was one of those things that you know, I know what I'm fighting. I know what I'm up against. I realize that we're not warring against flesh and bone. You know, this is a whole bigger picture. But honestly, I felt like God revealed in this physical moment, seeing all this hate, vitriol. I felt evil presence physically.
Yeah.
It's like I got to like kind of experience what is going on around us at all times of that warring that's in the heavenly realms. I know that's getting spiritual, but that's
you're
really
on the right
what
place to talk about
that's
it.
really what I felt. So I remember I started to walk off, and that's when they came around me and they're like, "Why aren't you standing up for your constituents?" And I said, "I am.
Yeah.
I'm standing up for the ones that are born and unborn."
Right.
And at that point, it was like they like you could see fire shoot out of their
Right.
and they surrounded me and started pushing me around, and I couldn't go anywhere. And thank God we had, you know, the security and everything kind of jumped and tried to push me through.
Right.
And they just kept going.
I'm rabid, man.
And I'm
So
sure.
this is not an insurrection.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I know. So I'm walking, and I have this lady like pushing into me, and she's trying to grab my folder, and that's where they're trying to say that I
Take the
assaulted a
paperwork.
lady, and I
Take
was
the
like,
paperwork.
and I like
Right.
pushed her away, like
Right.
stop
She
grabbing
was
my
coming after
stuff.
you. I saw it.
And and that's when they start. Oh, she assaulted.
Yeah,
it."
assault.
It's like really, if I was to assault somebody, I assure you would know that I was assaulting. you.
right,
Not
right.
not some off the cuff.
Right.
You know, just.
I'm not going to waste this opportunity with it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we walk around the corner to get on the elevator, and that's like when they start really pressing into us. They're blocking the elevator button. I had I had a highway patrolman, two of the police, Capitol Police, and another senator, and they're pushing us all into this. And it was like once it opened, we just kind of like
Right.
poured into it because they were pushing in on us so bad. So it was a crazy experience.
Yeah,
One, like,
man. I feel bad because like we didn't really know that was going to happen. Like we didn't know that your bill was coming up. You know what I mean? And so like in our Missouri Rhino Watch group, people are livid. Like I'm like wanting to throw my phone across the room because I'm like, we should be there, like standing in the gap trying to help. You know, it's interesting because they're like, obviously they knew it was coming down the pipeline. It was our fault for missing it. But
Yeah.
I mean, it had to. That was a lot of organization.
Right.
Yeah.
So
A
who was
lot.
the opposition? Who do you think organized that? That couldn't have been a grassroots thing.
Oh no, it was definitely Planned Parenthood,
Okay.
NARAL, you know, those sort of groups. They all came with signs,
Oh, yeah.
matching shirts,
Yep.
saying abortion is magical or F abortion bans,
Yeah.
and they're all doing the same banter. And I mean, so
I thought it would have said F vaccines or something, but evidently my body, my choice is one
Right,
way.
it's not the same
It's
thing.
not the
oh
same
no,
thing.
no,
Okay.
no,
No,
You know,
got
it's
it.
funny they all have the mask on, you know, and
Right.
everything, but-
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, SNL just did a skit. I don't know if you saw
Ah,
it. But
they're
SNL
trying to cover their tracks. I'm not buying it.
But even
Not
they are
buying it.
admitting now that the narrative is over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
yeah,
like
but for a year and a half, 2 years.
2 years too late.
Yeah,
that
right.
shows you
Too
these
late.
well, I
Sorry.
agree.
Yeah.
But it just shows you the bondage, that mental bondage and slavery that these people are in.
Yes.
That they're under this type of spell. And what I want everybody to understand is the biggest thing, besides the biggest thing that Planned Parenthood was angry about was the opportunity that you were going to provide for recourse for the patients who were done basically malpractice, the faulty cleaning of instruments, different things like that. So if they did anything or coerced them in the wrong way, basically if they did anything underhanded besides providing the proper service at a medical standard, there was a action of recourse for the victims.
That's right.
And that's what they were angry about, because that means lawsuits.
Yep.
That means taking their money. That means taking away all of, well, everything that they covet.
When there's another aspect. So we have these massive abortion mills that they've built right across the river in St. Louis. in Illinois. So while we've had a lot of reduction in abortions, they've just sent them over. So what this does, this allows any Missouri citizen to file suit, so it can go.
Ooh.
So that's why I think it had the response
That's
did.
amazing.
So I wasn't expecting it, because I said on that committee, we do a lot of abortion bills, and there's like, the Planned Parenthood lobbyists and, a few people that show up. So this is really hitting a nerve.
The beast.
And this is one of those things when you're taking all this income and you're getting close to the battlefield, and that's why it's like you keep going to the battlefield and keep pushing in.
That's right.
And that's what I want to do.
God bless you, man. That was amazing. I mean, just Jesus says, a tree by its fruit, right? And so as a people, we have fallen prey to a bunch of different individuals who say they want to do something, but then they act a different way. And what's really honorable and what we appreciate about you is the fact that you've talked less and acted more, and your actions have proven the loyalty to your people and to God and to what's right. And we thank you for that. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for that. That's why we wanted to have you on the show. That's why we will do everything we can to support your message, your movement. I mean, if you keep with your path, which I expect, obviously, right? Then I think it's a season of righteous leaders. I think I've been praying about it for a while, and the Lord is telling me it's not a season of martyrs any longer. It's a season of conquerors. And I think that that's your calling. I think that's something that is going to be pertinent moving forward, that we have men like you who will stand in the gap and will do the things that need to be done that can bring the hell against them that's there. But just know, man, that the response I saw on Facebook for you, the response I saw in our own chat all over the place, people are praying for you, and people are encouraged and heartened by the fact that you're standing in the gap and doing the things that they've been begging people to do for a long time. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and this has been my, I guess, charge in doing this is, at the end of the day, I'm accountable before Almighty God in every action, every deed, or every inaction, and every time I pause and don't act.
Correct.
So for me, that's my driving force. Is I know I'm going to stand before Him, giving an account, and I don't want to be ashamed of that. And I wish more people really had that fervor. And to me, it's just the fear of God and my relationship and my reverence for Him. So that's my driving force. And when I hear people like, I hope you don't lose your way, it's like, no, man. I mean, because
it's embedded.
I'm serving somebody greater than the people who elect me. I'm serving the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth.
Amen. Well, what's awesome is I was just reading in Galatians today when it talks about, Paul was like, I don't seek to please man. I seek to please God. And if I ever sought to please man, I'd never be a servant of Christ.
Amen.
And so that just hit home with me today, of course, because we're, everything works in accordance with God's will. And that's what people need to get back to is knowing what's right based on their own relationship with the Lord, and then standing in that gap. You don't need a man or a woman or anybody else to tell you who you are, as long as you know you're on the side of God, on the side of righteousness and doing what's right. So again, completely commend you. The Lord gave me a scripture a while back that I want to just kind of read to you real quick, so that I feel like this is when you're a part of this movement, right? And it says basically, it's Isaiah 58, 6-12. It says, is this not the kind of fasting I've chosen, to loose the chains of injustice, untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free, break every yoke? Is it not to share your food with the hungry and provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them and not turn away from your own flesh and blood? Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help, and He will say, here am I. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, which is what's happening right now, and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land, and He will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose water never fail. You and the people with you will rebuild the ancient ruins and will raise up the age-old foundations for generations to come, and you will be called the repairers of the breach and the restorers of the path lost. And that's the effort and the movement that you're taking. is you are a repairer of the breach, and we appreciate you and commend you and support you and stand behind you for that.
That I can't even respond to that. That's
Right on.
wow, what a
Couple more minutes.
Yeah.
With him, with the senator.
He is a very busy individual, and he's been gracious to deal with our delay and everything else. So
Sam's delay.
Last couple things. Give us this bombshell. Give us this bombshell about the property tax.
yes.
So tell us what you did in your district and why you won't move to ours and do it in ours.
Well, because I would love to see it for the entire state. So Senator Bill Eigel has a bill that had just his county, St. Charles, eliminating personal property tax in his county. It's a phase down. So when given the opportunity, I was like, hey, do you mind if I put on my entire Senate district, 5 counties, Cass, Bates, Vernon, Barton, and Henry. And he's like, well, yeah, if you can get it on. So I go make the amendment up, and I'm like, I was expecting a lot of pushback and whatever. So I go to put it on, and they're just like, oh, okay. I had nobody inquire. Well, they inquired. They're like, so you're sure this is only your district? I'm like, yeah, 100%. And they're like, okay. So like without any sort of anything. But I like to say that I'm going to throw in the but is the next morning once it got on and it was perfected, that's when I started getting calls from the cities and the schools and saying, oh my gosh, the sky is going to fall and we're going to be shutting the schools down and so on and so forth.
Scare tactics.
It's scare tactics. So it's a systematic phase out to they won't lose a single dollar of what they have currently but to me it's huge. I mean, to think we're going to be like this beacon over on the west side of the state, and
Just
I
a little too south.
Yeah, I guarantee you, people and businesses are going to flood to that. If I have thousands of pieces of equipment that I have in my operation, and I can go somewhere and I don't have to pay all that on it. Guess where I'm going?
Yeah, so I guess when Josh told me about it, I was flabbergasted.
So many people are like, "What?"
So so the schools use that scare tactic, like we're gonna close, no books for kids. We'll talk about books later. But where does that money go? Does it go to the schools? Because I thought that's where the casino money goes and the lottery money goes.
Well, the casino money, we have tons of money from the state. We've got a bunch of federal money going to the schools, and the local. But 85% of the brunt of the money goes from real property, not personal.
Okay.
So it's about 15%, and it's all divvied up between a bunch of taxing districts. But we heard the same argument when we passed this called the 509, and it was the reduction of the income tax. All we heard that the sky was going to fall, like the Chicken Little, like everything's going to collapse and we're going to do without. We've seen nothing since then of an explosion of growth and revenue, not because we're taxed too much. It's because we're taxed. People are investing and they're growing.
Really,
it's real economics.
Right. More take-home money.
And that's what I tried to explain to these guys. Not to mention last year we passed Wayfair, which is the internet sales tax. We haven't even really seen the real
revenue in that.
Revenue in that's going to the local aspect of it. To me, the people are taxed enough already.
Yeah, we are.
It's a fundamental right. It's an unalienable. I know everybody says unalienable. It's unalienable, meaning you can't place a lien on it. Yeah. But life, liberty, property. That was the original text that Jefferson put forth. So, do I ever own anything? To me, that's the thing. That's the fundamental flaw in the way we do this taxation. Yeah. I mean, you buy a car or a trailer, and you literally pay a tax the rest of your life that you own it. The thing's going to the junkyard.
Into the junkyard that you drove by on the way up here.
Yep. Finally, they stopped paying property tax. Our personal property tax.
That's wild, man.
So that is something a senator can do themselves.
Just by putting an amendment.
Just by putting in an amendment in.
Yes.
Are you hear that, other senators?
You hear that, other senators?
Okay. Let's talk about when you're in Jeff City, when people write, when people call, when people email. How do you feel how do you feel that when you're there, and how effective is it? Because that's one thing. We always have a call to action at the end of the show. We always want people to get involved, and if just write your representatives,
And
write
this
your
is-
senators, all of that. How was that affected to you guys there in Jeff City? How do you feel it?
Yeah.
Very effective in terms of like really pushing in on the conservative things and really trying to do the big things that I feel that we are elected to do. It's really easy for us to feel like we're kind of marginalized, alone, because I mean the hallways are strong down there. So when we're getting that support and people saying, "Hey, we're behind you. This means a lot. This is what we sent you here to do." It means a lot. Now, in terms of some people that receive the opposite, that they why aren't you doing this? And they, the senator or rep, they don't, feel that way. They may not take that personal, but I know for me, that's that fuel to keep me like, hey, I know I'm really, I have the
right
support.
path, right.
Yeah.
I know I'm on the right path, but it's nice to
Have the
know you have
support.
the support.
Right, because you're in the belly of the beast and you hear nothing but opposite. I mean, you really just hear a lot of times a bunch of lies and contrary points of view, and then it's normal for a person to start like getting doubtful maybe or whatever, like, well, maybe this isn't something I thought it was, and then all of a sudden you get that wave of support, and that just lifts you back up and gives you that ability to keep pushing forward.
Well, this week was a perfect example. I had a bunch of about 5 handwritten little thank you cards from some students that came back literally a couple weeks ago. I really kind of explained my ideology and stuff. And after all this nonsense that happened this week, I go and sat down and in my inbox, and I was like, you have no idea the refreshing, just like a handwritten, like thoughtful, like thank you so much for what you're doing. It's just like it was such a rejuvenating experience to have that encouragement.
Solid.
Because and God knows when that stuff really needs to hit somebody at that particular time. So keep it coming and keep pouring into it, showing that support, especially for these big issues, because it is huge, that grassroots.
Right on.
Excellent.
So there you go, from a senator who's actually in the fight. Your calls, your emails, your thank you notes, your support means a lot. And it's the fuel that they need because they're up there fighting for us constantly. This is the kind of stuff that we need to make sure that we're doing. And in reality, it's the least we can do. So let's move into your last phase, and we'll let you go. You, thank God, are running for U.S. Congress.
I am.
So tell us why and then what we can do to support you.
Well, I'm one of those type of people where I want to go to the fight. I want to go where I see the biggest, unrighteous act and the horrible things going on, and we turn on the news every single day, and we see to me the attempted collapsing of our nation. I feel this administration and all these leftists, they don't love America, and everything they're implementing. It's not that they have failed policies. It's their policies are working out exactly as they plan, and it's to take America down.
Right.
They are not incompetent. This is their exact plan. And we have got to get people there that I don't care about the title congressman or representative. I don't care. I'm there to protect America. You have these flags here. It's like, that is what I swore an oath to protect and defend. And we have to defend it. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, man, stay in the state. That's where it's at. Guys, I mean, if we go down, if they collapse this nation, we can do all the good policy. We're going down with the Titanic.
Right.
We're United States. I mean, so it is so critical for us to get people in there that are afraid to take bold action, be that the shining city on a hill.
Yeah.
And do everything you possibly can, because to me, this is the Alamo. I know that's a horrible analogy to use, but this is
the
all
hill to
hands
die
on
on.
deck.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
I mean, if we have to, again, we need. Everybody knows we know what's happened in the past year, and so we know the agenda of Pelosi and those type of people. We know, and the worst part is the RINOs, man, the feckless people who have been put into these positions and will not stand up and do things. And we've seen the effectiveness of just simple individuals standing up, even though they get barred from their committees. Like even Marjorie Taylor Greene, the fact of the matter that she's speaking has a big impact. So we have people who've been quiet the entire time or been passive the entire time. Having somebody like you who wants to get into the fight, who we need fighters because this is a war. There's no more patty cake playing, right? We need somebody like you that's going to step into the ring and fight. Not step into the ring to do legislation and be a statesman in that sense, but to go in and fight for exactly what we're founded on and what we need to keep, which is our God-given freedoms and the ability to stay that shining light on a hill.
Absolutely.
There's no playing nice with people who are deliberately trying to destroy the country.
It's war.
It's war without the blood.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And you know, when you're that guy that stands up, and one thing I've learned is courage is contagious.
Yes.
You know once you stand up, it's easier for others to stand up with you.
Agreed.
If you're willing to be that guy, and I have been, and that's the thing. People jump into these races and they can make all these promises and shake all the hand, tell you everything you want to hear. It's a whole different animal to actually get there, to do it, and to be the guy that's hated.
Yeah.
You know, just like this week, you know, a lot of people would have literally caved and ran and would not want to continue to do the stuff you do when you experience that stuff.
Right.
And I don't care because it's the right thing to do, and I'll do it every single day as long as I'm elected.
Excellent. Man.
How can we support you?
Well, rickbrattinforcongress.com. Getting the word out. If anybody wants to give financially, man, that would be phenomenal. It'd be huge. These things are not cheap to win.
Right.
It's a 24 county district.
Right.
Anyone, but getting the word out and spreading that message, social media, sharing the stuff that we post. Anything, just get that word out. I mean, that is so beneficial.
So it's Rick Brattin, RICKBRATTIN for Congress.com. You also can go to mRINOWatch.com, and down in the Patriot action item, he is the first one on the list. It says Rick Brattin for Congress. Make sure you show that support, and you have an opportunity to win an AR-15, which is another incentive to support
lasers.
somebody like you. Yeah. So you can go to mRINOWatch.com, and that will drive you directly to the page to win the AR with a donation. And then, of course, that will give you access to the website itself. But if you want to go outside of that, rickbrattinforcongress.com. Senator Brattin, I thank you very much for coming in and spending time with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor and a blessing to have me up here.
Right on, man. And we feel the same way. It's a blessing having you here.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful and successful weekend.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah,
Enjoy your Sabbath, brother.
Thanks. Take care.
Yeah, see ya.
All right.
Good.
I feel like a superstar now.
Yeah. Good
like a
script.
superstar.
He followed the script, word for word. All right. Excellent.
Now.
I thought that was going to be off the cuff, but no, it was word for word.
This is for you, Barbara. This is for you, Barbara. It's time to hunt some rhinos. Is that too close? Are we okay? Are we okay now?
Can you still hear us?
Am I
Are
too
we still
close?
on the air?
Did we make it?
It was using the Bluetooth headphones gave me a bad signal.
Sam literally has had a baptism by fire.
I'm telling you, man, he is the best in the game.
So shout out real quick.
Shout out
to Two Gender Studios.
Two Gender Studios.
If you want somebody who can literally put this together in a heartbeat, and work put out a fire.
Put out a flyer.
While another fire is going.
Yep.
While doing a podcast.
Incredible.
Sam Johnson.
Incredible.
Sam Johnson, the Magnificent. See?
You did great.
I switched it up.
You did great.
Thank you,
Sam the Glam. Now, he still needs to do push-ups, so I don't want to.
Tell everybody to subscribe.
Subscribe.
If you enjoyed that interview with Senator Rick Brattin, please.
Brattin.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell. Ding.
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 All right, so
excellent interview.
I love that guy.
Excellent interview.
I liked him before.
We'll have to have him come back.
There's a lot of conviction.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, we have to have a lot of that. There's a lot of conviction. Senator Brattin, please come back.
Can we say that he's a friend of the show?
I mean,
that's a big
we
thing.
can call him friend. It's up to him if he calls us a friend too.
Why wouldn't he call us a friend?
I don't know.
I thought the interview went well. Why did he hate us?
I don't know. He might have spit on the concrete when he left.
He may have done that.
Yeah.
Do you got cameras out there, Sam?
I got cameras everywhere.
He's got cameras everywhere. We see if you
legal?
spit, Brattin.
Is that legal?
It's to have cameras everywhere?
Yeah.
As long as you know you're recording.
Hmm.
One person recording law. as long as I know.
Party consent.
One party. I consent
Well, if
to
the senator
recording
knew
you.
that he was being recorded outside, he probably wouldn't have spit on the concrete.
That's true, but I mean, he did just leave a security building.
Ah, that's true.
That's true.
That's
Okay.
true. Anyway,
So, what we would like to do is we would like to roast some rhinos tonight.
yeah. It only seems fitting.
It only seems fitting.
It only seems
It only
fitting.
fitting. So, guys,
And they
here's-
deserve worse.
Oh, they do deserve worse. And this is what's great is you have now a reference of what a real senator looks like, what a real representative of the people looks like. And now we're going to expose, roast, talk about
yeah.
in not the best way.
Roast is.
We're not- maybe-
a roast is you do it in a loving way. You rib on them
I
and
guess
then
you're right.
you hug. No, we don't
Scorched
wanna
earth,
hug. Yeah.
dumpster fire.
Yeah, I think that's more accurate. Yeah.
We didn't even practice
We didn't
that.
practice that.
Hey, one more
Yeah.
time together. I got you on split.
1, 2, 3. Dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Excellent.
Okay.
Nothing is
So-
scripted here,
So
man.
we're gonna talk about Holly Thompson Rehder, which I
Thompson.
think it's Raider. Thompson.
Holly
Rehder.
Thompson Raider.
Thompson Raider. But before we do, let's clown on Shats a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that. I like clowning on Shats.
This is the Shats clown music. So get this. Shats, I don't know if everybody knew he's running for U.S. Senator.
What?
Yeah, did
Oh,
anybody
right,
know
right,
that?
because he's on the mark, or he's on the mark.
He's a shoot straight.
He's a straight shooter.
Straight shooter. Same
Well, that
thing.
whiskey did hit us. Didn't
Yes, it did. Straight shooter.
Shooter, that's
Okay,
right.
so listen, he is polling so low, like by himself. Solo.
Yeah. It's not bad. Not bad. Yeah.
Okay. He's polling so far down that he is now considered in the others category.
It couldn't have happened to a bigger creep.
A better guy.
Gas tax Shats.
Gas tax Shats. And he's like, man, why are my numbers so low?
That's right.
So what does
I'm
he
standing
do?
in front of a truck.
So what does he do? He gets a headliner.
Huh.
You know who his headliner is?
Who's this?
Dolly Parson.
Whoa.
Dolly
the
Parson.
Governor Dolly?
Governor Dolly is
Our
now
governor?
decided to come out of the woodworks,
Nice.
and he is going to headline Shat's campaign
Nice.
because there's obviously hope there.
Yeah. When Dolly comes out, Dolly grabs.
Makes you wonder.
She gets the. He. Yeah, I see. Oh, you're talking about that Dolly. Yeah, he's not going to do very well for Shats. Drop out, Shats.
Well, I hope Shat's just drop out, bro. Just like do your thing, like reroute
You're
your
a
money
straight
back
shooter,
to yourself.
You stand in front of a truck.
Just drop out,
You
dude.
fish in the swamp. That's great.
Drop out
That's
and don't
great.
ever come out
Good
of
commercial.
your community ever again.
Yeah.
In fact, don't come out of your house because your
Your
neighbors probably
priority-
hate you too.
Your priority is a gas tax.
Shat
Good for
tax.
you.
Shat
The
tax.
Shat tax. Shats.
The Shats tax. Where did anybody ever find that form that you can fill out to get your reimbursements for your
Oh, the
gas?
reimbursement for the Shats tax,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
you
yeah.
could go on the website,
And then
Shats
and then
website.
you can't
I'm
find
sure.
it, right?
Yeah, you can't find it only because it's invisible.
You have to write it. You have to actually write it in pen.
Grab a notebook like
a notebook,
so.
and then write Shats tax refund, and then
Do
draw
it in pen.
draw a middle finger,
Draw a middle finger.
and then send it to him,
Send it
and
to
then he'll do the math for you and give you your money back.
Yeah. He's got a calculator. I think it's state issued. I don't think it's his.
Yep.
personal.
He actually has an assistant to run the calculator for him
Oh, really?
while he drinks Coors Light.
Coors Light.
The reason why I said Coors
drinking
Light
water?
is because while we were up at the Capitol during the filibuster, he had 3. I think it was 3. It was reported that he had 3 cases of
Eyewitnesses.
Coors Light by pretty credible eyewitnesses that he had 3 cases of Coors Light being carted into the pro tem's office in the Senate.
Light.
I wonder if he paid for that or if like it was a lobbyist gift or
Could have been some of the gas tax.
yeah. So
Coors.
obviously he was
Coors Light?
He was doing some real work that night. Coors Light, straight shooters beer.
Hey, not that we wouldn't accept them as a
sponsor.
Where's that ding, Sam?
Ding.
Ding.
Sponsor.
Coors
Like, share, and
Light.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe. Ding.
Okay.
Anyways, okay. So Shats is polling so low in his Senate race that
He's bringing in old
he's
Dolly.
bringing in Dolly Parson because that's going to help. I mean, like, so is it because that if Schmidt wins that he's going to appoint him to AG and so he's trying to make it look like chummy so that it looks like that? Because I hope not. Because Parson, if you appoint that guy to AG, I don't even want to go there. I want to laugh more.
If Dolly does that, he is not welcome on our show.
No. Our what, Sam? What's wrong?
What's wrong, Dolly?
You guys look great.
Oh, okay, good.
Can't hear us again?
No, he's just turning his chair that way.
Oh, okay. Let's do it like this.
Dude.
Okay.
Get it together,
All
Brett.
right, Dolly, if you do that, you're not
You're
welcome
not
on
allowed
the show.
on the show
You're not
if
allowed.
you appoint Schatz to AG.
Don't do that. Don't shats on your
On the justice system.
on the justice system.
Please don't
Very
do
good.
that.
Yeah.
Anyways, Schatz, congratulations on your other numbers.
Do we have numbers that we can put up on the screen so the audience can see the other?
You got fingers?
Oh,
Here they are.
here they are.
Here's your numbers,
Yeah,
Schatz.
how about that? Yeah.
This is not the one eye. I'm not Illuminati.
Now, if he didn't pass the gas tax, or even introduce the gas tax,
He
there's
might-
a good chance
He could be in fifth
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
He could even be in fifth, but no, you're an other.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand how far you're sinking into oblivion?
Yeah. You know, it's funny too because even before the gas tax or the Schatz tax, he wasn't very liked to begin with.
No, I don't think people like him.
Does
too
he
much.
read the room? Can he not read?
I think he likes to yell.
Oh, okay.
He likes to yell
I
instead of reading anything,
Okay.
which makes sense why he's passed so many bad bills.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was. You know, I was reading some
reading.
of Senator Brattin's, and you know, I read almost through the whole thing, and there wasn't one misspelled word.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So if Schatz is writing it, I would imagine there's probably a word or two,
Well, he's got somebody to write stuff for him too.
like his last name.
He yells, and then people are like,
He yells.
"Oh,
He yells.
he yells,"
Yeah.
and then
there's-
they interpret it into bills.
okay.
Oh,
Oh, maybe he didn't.
Gas
want the
tax.
maybe he didn't want the gas tax.
and they
He
just
was
got it
yelling,
wrong. But then he was so befuddled that he didn't know how to explain it. No, this is not really wrong.
Yeah. Is that an actual quote?
I think so.
Okay.
That's what I heard
Huh.
from a reliable source,
Yeah.
like CNN.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Let's
Nobody likes Schatz.
No, it's not that much fun. I mean,
Yeah,
it was.
keep
fun,
up the
but
good
it's
work,
not that
Schatz.
fun. Thanks. Good job, Schatz.
Oh, where can I find that form, by the way?
Not on the website.
Not on the website?
Not on the Missouri website.
write him
We're
a
still
letter.
looking for
I'll
it.
write him the letter. Pro tem.
Pro tem.
Dave.
Protem.
These are the Daves I know, I know, I know. These are the Daves I know.
That was great. You should have
thank you.
started the
It's
show
an old
with that.
It's an old Kids in the Hall.
Should have started the show
sketch.
with that
Yeah,
one.
I should have started. Maybe the next one.
I think
If Schatz is a guest,
I think we'll do-
I will sing that song.
I think we should do Frozen. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go, Schatz. Let it go. Well,
Yeah.
One of
Sam.
the cheap seats. Nah.
I don't know. That's a pretty
Sam
expensive
can
seat
belt
over
it
there.
out. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into Raider.
Let's do it. Thompson.
Thompson.
Oh, Holly.
Okay, so let's set the stage here. Okay.
Let's do it.
This lady said the other day, I may not be too smart, but I got a load of backbone and common sense.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty
once
good.
she said that,
Uncanny.
I smashed my head against the table.
I thought she was just sitting in your seat.
No, it was close though.
Yeah, it's
and the
pretty
difference is I don't have this long, luscious red hair.
No, you don't. You don't.
Anyways,
Not yet. Anyway.
Raider. So she's coming up with this bill. She's got this bill, SB 775.
Yeah.
That was rolled in with Shup's bill, which I actually have zero problem with this bill.
Okay.
It's a sexual assault victims bill of rights,
Bill of
or sexual
Rights.
assault
Yep.
bill of rights.
It's a very good bill.
Yeah,
It's an excellent bill.
yeah. And so there's nothing wrong with the bill. What's crazy is like, are you really serious about sexual assault victims? Because Senator Brattin, I don't know if you guys know who that is.
He was a guest earlier.
He was a guest on our show once.
earlier.
Phenomenal guy.
Yeah,
running
great
for
guy.
Congress.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, actual titan in the arena of hell. The bane of demons. The bane of abortion demons.
Bane of abortion.
Bane of abortion demons.
Bane
The bane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He decided that he was going to put an amendment on a bill. Okay. On that bill, on the sexual assault victims bill, that made it a crime to give children in schools obscene material, aka child pornography. Not child pornography, but well, that would be included too.
Yeah.
But pornography.
So
Okay.
you're talking about are these books,
These
online books?
These books,
access in libraries?
not just online, physical copies, hard
Oh, boy.
copies,
Yeah.
hard copies,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, sure, the biggest one that's a buzzword is The Bluest Eye, where it talks about a dad, doing horrible things to his own child in graphic detail, and they say that that's good for our children to read. Like, I mean,
So he wrote a bill. He wanted that amendment
He wrote it.
on.
He
Rehder's
has a bill that was there. It's getting held up in committee with White, or it's not even been assigned to committee because they have other things that are important, not the
Senator
protection
Bill
of
White.
our children. Yeah, RINO Bill White. But anyways, this amendment would add. It says persons affiliated with a public or private elementary or secondary school in an official capacity, an administrator, a teacher, a librarian, a media center personnel, substitute teacher, teacher's assistant, student teacher, law enforcement officer, school board member, school bus driver, guidance counselor, coach, guest lecturer, guest speaker, or other non-school employee who is invited to present information to students by a teacher, administrator, or other school employee. Such terms shall not include a student enrolled in elementary or secondary school, so it's not kids. They bring stuff to school, they just get suspended. But obscene material, any material or performance, if taken as a whole, applying contemporary community standards, its predominant appeal is to prurient interest in sex. Let me give you what prurient means real quick so people understand, because everybody's trying to blow this up as if, it's got literary value. And it's like, listen, dude, use your common sense, okay? A reasonable person is in here. We have to find them. But it says prurient means characterized by an inordinate interest in sex. Inordinate interest in sex. In other words, an unhealthy view and engagement in sex. That whole mindset, right? And then the average person applying contemporary community standards would find the material depicts or describes sexual content in a patently offensive way. I don't know if you think things like RAPE is offensive, especially when it's an incest situation or things like that. I don't know if you think that your child should be watching that or have the ability to see that or be taught that at any time in school. But to me, I'm an average person, and I'm applying contemporary community standards, and I find those type of material and the stuff I've read recently, which makes me sick, is patently offensive. Mm-hmm. And a reasonable person, I think we're all reasonable, would find the material lack serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value, 100%. And so
it just simply has no place in a school library.
None at all. None at all. And what's crazy is they try and say like this person who wrote the bill, right, or wrote one of the books, well, she got a Pulitzer Prize or something like that. Well, she didn't get it for that book. She didn't get it for that book, and it doesn't matter. It's up to reasonable people to understand what is obscene and what isn't, or offensive and what isn't. And then people try and say, well, it's an encroachment on First Amendment rights, okay? And so thanks to this wonderful listener and patriot and activist, she just sent me over this screenshot, which anybody can find if you go to justice.gov, which happens to be the website for the Department of Justice for the United States of America. It says the Supreme Court has ruled that transmitting obscenity and child pornography, whether via the internet or other means, is illegal under federal law for both adults and juveniles. And then obscenity is not protected under First Amendment rights to free speech, and violations of federal obscenity laws are criminal offenses. So according to our justice system, according to Supreme Court rulings, according to law, obscenity is not protected under First Amendment speech. And then a reasonable person would be able to understand that this is trash.
Yes.
Trash. So Senator Brattin attaches, and again, like we was talking about with that young lady who gave her testimony, predators use this stuff to groom children for predatory things. So this is a sexual assault bill, and this is where it starts. But they say she had a press conference and said that he is insincere. Rehder had a press conference, said that Brattin and the other conservative caucus members are insincere because they want to add this amendment, which protects children from pornography in schools, to a sexual assault bill.
I'm not sure. I don't know that her definition of insincere, but
smart. She means smart. Insincere means smart to her, obviously, because this is a very smart and intelligent bill or amendment to add, where you put it in, right? And you attach it to a sexual assault crime. Because what happens is porn is pervasive, especially at that young age. It destroys development in the brain, right? Because now that's been taken over by this graphic material, whether it's reading or visual, right? And then a lot of the times it creates the predators.
Right.
And it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And this man was strong enough and wise enough to put this as an amendment to a very complimentary bill.
Absolutely.
And they decide to lose their mind over it.
It seems like it would go hand in hand. I guess we'll have to have her on the show to explain why that would be so. I believe the term she used was controversial amendment, controversial policy.
Wow.
I guess I don't understand what would be so controversial about that. And if she's worried about a filibuster, who would filibuster that?
Well, what's funny is that what we have with the filibusters, you have the PQ, previous question, which allows them to basically, it's the nuclear option, which allows them to throw out debate,
Yep.
right, deliberation, and by a majority, move on with it and get it passed. So get this, in her interview, in her press conference, when she was asked if they would consider the PQ, right, the nuclear option to get rid of the amendment to protect children from sexual obscenity and pornography in schools, she's willing to use that. She's willing to use the PQ, the nuclear option, to get rid of this amendment, but is not willing to use the PQ option to get rid of anybody that would filibuster against both of them together.
Yeah.
So that means
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it doesn't make any sense to logical thinking people or people
Right.
with good
Oh, she's not
interest.
logical?
I don't think
Well,
she
she wrote a
is.
good bill, so she has to have
I don't
some
know if
sense.
she wrote this. She actually rolled this up with Shoop, the other lady, the Democrat senator.
Okay.
Which again, fine bill.
Yeah.
No problem with this. I think it's needed. This is needed too. Protect our children from the very beginning. And so basically what it's saying is she's willing to do anything necessary to get rid of Brattin's amendment to protect our kids from that sexual pornography and keep this. Instead of use that same nuclear option to take both.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
You know what it means? She's evil.
Or she's selfish,
Or
that
she's-
she believes that she wants to grandstand and doesn't want to share the limelight with anybody else. Or this is retribution for the 7-1 map.
Or or all of the above, and she's evil.
All of the above.
I'm going to use retribution when I could save children. I'm going to use retribution when I could protect children.
Yeah.
I'm going to, and the limelight, she could say, I've added this in too. Look what I've done. I've protected children and I've protected sexual assault victims.
Yeah.
I've cut it off at the source, or started to.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't want to do that.
It doesn't make any
She wants
sense.
to show, and this is what the worst part is.
Well, let me ask you this before we go on.
Okay.
So is she so concerned that Democrats are going to filibuster that Brattin's amendment?
That is the
or is that the scare tactic?
that is the scare tactic.
Who's going to? What Democrat is going to stand on that to get that smut taken out of the library?
Not only that, though. Not only that. If you do the filibuster, the cure for the filibuster is the PQ, the nuclear option. Yeah. She's willing to use the nuclear option on the conservative caucus to get rid of this, when you could use the nuclear option to kill any filibuster the Democrats brought up to stop this. So in other words, we have, by her own admission and the way the things work, we have all the tools we need to get this passed. Except Rehder won't stand for it. Rehder just wants this one, and she wants to make sure that her Democratic friends aren't angry. And guess what? All these other senators joined her. Tony Luetkemeyer, we saw you standing there next to old Caleb Rowden at that press conference. Bernskoder,
Yeah,
Huff,
Tony, what are you doing?
Brown. What are you doing, Tony? What are you doing? Your constituents are so angry at the way that you're acting, your foolishness. You have not gotten away with anything. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I can't wait till you show up to the next committee meeting. I
Come to the
cannot
committee
wait.
meeting.
I cannot wait. We're just going to
We'll have
ask
a
you
civ-
some
we'll
questions.
have a civil conversation.
Civil. Super civil. But you're going to answer these questions or just don't show up. Whatever, buddy. But you could have protected our kids. Oh, this doesn't work because... What? You could have perfected it. It could have went into the perfection stage like all other bills do, and you could have tightened it up. But instead of working together to protect our children, you grandstand and call a press conference. And the worst part is you called this press conference, Rehder or whoever scheduled it, called this press conference in the middle of the testimony of Senate Bill 923 about protecting children from pornography on the internet, where the woman gave her testimony about how she was a sexual assault victim who was groomed for 3 years by this predator by sending her pornography. A sexual assault victim was giving her testimony, and you had the nerve and the audacity to have a press conference and say that our senators, our conservative senators, are insincere. And you got up and you had a publicity moment in the middle of this girl's heart-wrenching testimony where she put everything on the line, put all of her information out there in order to, in support of this bill, to protect the next generation. You are scum. Every single one of you that stood up in that press conference, you're all scum. Every single one of you. Huff, Hegeman, whatever your name is, you're not that influential anyways. Bean, Huff, right? Brown,
Huff, but still.
Lukemeyer, Rowden, Christian Singer. Christian Singer? Bro, you worship before the Lord and you led people in worship and you can't protect our children?
Christian
I'm
Rock.
sick of you people. Sick of these monsters.
Yeah.
You guys are sick people.
Yeah. And they had the audacity to say that the conservative caucus is not being civil.
Right. They said that, the conservative caucus isn't being civil. Mm-hmm. And that's why we have to fight this way. In other words, the conservative caucus is not laying down and allowing you to push across your agenda and do nothing.
Yeah.
They're trying to get things done. They're trying to protect the people. They're trying to protect our children. And you scumbags are grandstanding against it. It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. Where are we wrong? Where are we wrong?
Prove us wrong. Where are we wrong? Oh, the amendment's not good enough. Aren't you, Luke Meyer, aren't you a lawyer? Aren't you a lawyer? Don't you know how to finagle words? I know. Perfect it and make it better. Yeah. Here was
Help
the opportunity.
The senator. Where did he go wrong?
Here's the opportunity for us to change something and protect our children, and the fight that these great parents have been waging at the school boards day in and day out. These people have been tireless and they are so worn down. This could have been a win for the records. I mean, this could have been one of the most amazing wins for us. And yes, okay, maybe that would have been challenged. Maybe it would have went to the courts, but at least give the courts the opportunity to decide what is right in this sense. Now the executive won't do anything. And the legislature we get stalled. We got people that putting on a bill, they keep stalling it. So the executive, the prosecutors, local prosecutors, they won't take it up. Oh, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it'll work. I don't know. I don't think it'll work. Because they're afraid to stand in the gap. Why won't it work? Because let us know. Let us find out. Let us go to the courts and find out so that we can make sure it works. But you won't even go there because you don't want to stir the waters. You don't want to upset the establishment because it's controversial.
How is that controversial?
You don't want to upset the waters and stir the establishment because you don't want your seat taken. You don't want to have the heat like Brattin took. You don't want that because you're feckless and weak. You have no spine. And so you won't stand up and you won't go after this kind of stuff. And then the chief of police, well, we're not going to arrest anybody if they're not going to get prosecuted. How about you do your job and you worry about what the prosecutor does after that? How about that? How about you do your job? The things that we pay you for. Why don't you do your job? And the prosecutors do your job. We could have had this done. I've read just excerpts of this disgusting material that are on these libraries. I can't even deal with it. And I'm 35 years old. And I've been through hell and back when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I can't even deal with it. And these children do not have to go through this. They don't have to suffer. They don't have to be the victims of these people's sick games. This is pedophilia grooming. And if you don't see it as such, you are part of the problem. It could be construed that you are an advocate of pedophilia if you do not get in front of this. You need to stand up and make a move because there are pissed off parents. I'm talking angry like I've never seen.
Yep.
Angry like I've never seen. And that heat is coming for all of you. Not only are you going to be voted out of your positions, but you're going to have shame. Your name, your family's name and legacy is going to be shamed for the rest of your time here in Missouri. And we're going to make sure of it. We're going to stand in the gap. We're going to raise up the foundations. We're going to repair the breach that you have allowed to continue. This is absolute absurdity. And to act on your high horse. Rehder, what is your problem? You call yourself a Christian. What does Jesus say? It says, if any of you cause these little ones to stumble, it's better that they have a millstone tied around their neck and cast into the ocean. But you want to make sure this bill's clean and it gets through. Yeah, sick of you people. You're trash. You're nothing but trash. Oh, and people are so pissed off.
Yeah.
They're so pissed off. and they have a right to be.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you don't think the parents are noticing, read the room.
Right.
Read the room.
They don't want to read the room. And you know what's crazy is they have all of these people testifying in favor of a bill and no one against it. They still go back around on their own and do it themselves. Same way they did with the redistricting.
Yeah.
Had hours of testimony about it. No one testifying against it or in favor of the other map, and they still go in their own chambers and make their own decisions. Just like you cut out Bob Onder and the rest of the conservative caucus when it did the heartbeat bill. When you went into your chambers and you shut the door in your office, you shut your door and you would not let the sponsor of the heartbeat bill, who's a doctor and an attorney, in to negotiate it. Mm-hmm. You had, thank God for Andrew Koenig, him by himself against the hounds of hell, the Democrats, as well as all the Planned Parenthood attorneys and all this other stuff on the phone, drilling this guy, trying to put a deal together. You shut out the sponsor of this bill so that you could get your way. You guys are scum.
Yeah.
You're absolute scum.
How are we wrong?
Yeah, prove us wrong. Change my mind. In my opinion, you advocate child grooming for pedophilia. Change my mind. That's my opinion. Change it. Let me give you a quote by Vladimir Lenin. I don't know if you guys know who Lenin is. He's responsible for what? 5 or 6 million at least.
Just starting off anyway.
Starting off,
Yeah.
Communist.
Yeah.
Started off democide, murdering his people through government functions.
Yeah.
He said, "Give me 4 years to teach the children, and the seed I have sown will never be uprooted." If you all don't think this is a war for your children, if you don't think this is a war for the future of this nation and the kingdom of heaven versus the kingdom of hell, you have lost it. If you don't get in this fight, and now this is to the parents, if you don't get in this fight, if we don't make a change, we're done for. We're done for. Because these demons are playing to win. They are playing to win.
And for the senators, I would say, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not.
Take a look at that bill. Take a look at some of those books that are in the library and tell me that that is acceptable for them to be in a school library or a library in general.
Right.
But where a kid could go in and read it, grab it off the shelf.
Graphically.
Right.
Graphically.
Right.
It just makes me
The
sick.
parents need to know what the kids are reading. I get all that. But why is it even an option in a school library?
Why would you allow that? Why would you want that?
Yeah.
How depraved?
Right.
How depraved is your mind? How reprobate are you if that is something that you're okay with? Well, I'm not okay with it. My kids are homeschooled, and I'm in this fight. I'm.
Somebody brought up a good point the other day, was it today that we were talking about it? Anyway, maybe that's one of the reasons why the school libraries are closed.
Oh, yeah. A phenomenal patriot actually brought that point up. Maybe that's the reason they're closed, because now they don't want to know. In Park Hill School District, they have multiple copies, don't they?
Yeah.
They have multiple copies of the
Did
Blue
we have that
Sky.
list?
I think you got it, right?
No, I did.
I have it. I have the file on my
have the
computer.
file? Yeah.
So let's just go in here.
Yeah, but it's not. It's. We're talking just in the Kansas City area, North Kansas City high schools, Liberty High School.
They have some in
Park
the
Hill High
St.
School.
Louis. They have some in the St. Louis elementary schools, bro. Elementary schools. This is how sick these people are. Sick, twisted. They are grooming children. I mean, they're grooming children. And then the people we've called as representatives to represent and fight for us are laying down on the job.
Yeah, so who is permitting these books? Who approves these books? You want a Dr. Seuss book in your library, who approves it? Who puts it on the list and says, oh, there it is, got my Dr. Seuss book?
That's a great question,
right?
And we need to find that out.
Who put on the piece of paper the, let's just see here, what's the name of one of these books?
Here, the Bluest Eye, there
Bluest
is
Eye.
two hard copies in Park Hill School District R5.
Mm-hmm.
There's one hard copy of The Girl Who Fell from the Sky. There's 2 hard copies from The Handmaid's Tale, and 2 hard copies from Crank. Listen to this. It has a 3-page rape scene. Guys, 3 pages describing rape. Does that need to be in Park Hill R5, Park Hill South, and Park Hill, the regular Park Hill? 3 pages of rape. Lawn Boy, 1 hard copy in Park Hill. Looking for Alaska, 1 hard copy in Parkville, 1 hard copy in Park South, and 1 hard copy in Russell Jones Education Center. Guys, wake up. 3-page rape scene. Who needs to go into graphic detail for 3 pages?
Right.
I write all the time. I journal all the time. And if I'm a page in, I've said a lot. 3 pages of rape in a book called Crank.
I guess what educational value does that have in that book? Like, what's the reason to have that book in that library? What are we missing here?
If you want to talk about, like, let's say, and I'm just going to go off the cuff here, Crank's probably about people doing drugs, right? Let's just say. I think it's definitely a necessity to say this person was raped. Violently, if you have to say the word violently. Done. But 3 pages of graphic detail of how it happened, what does that do besides scar that child?
Yeah.
That child is scarred.
Well, yeah, and a child's not going to be able to understand that anyway, but you'll be able to get that image in their head. And then as they get older, if that's something they want to research later as adults, that's completely different.
I don't even want to. I mean,
I
I
have no interest in it. I'm just saying, though, what's that doing in a school library? Are we prudes? Do we sound like prudes, Sam? Is your microphone working?
No, but I'm dying for you to pick up that piece of paper with what's happening in St. Louis now.
Where's it at?
It's right there.
It was right here?
Yeah.
We're controversial enough.
You don't even have to speak on it. You can just read it.
Yeah, well, so this one's talking about, so the LGBTQ advocates and families fight back against Missouri bill restricting trans athletes, right? And the case that they use is a 5-year-old or 6-year-old, born a girl. Is that right? Born a girl, but is a boy.
We'll say what the parents said.
He always felt like a boy, and he always knew he was a boy. He just didn't have the language for that. So he began to socially transition when he was 6. You see what's happening with pop culture anyways? You see what pop culture is doing to people? That's just the pop culture of saying this is who you could be. Mm-hmm. Imagine now when it's deep and dark and twisted in these descriptive heinous acts that somebody would never think of before. They wouldn't be thinking of these wretched things. And now that's being implanted in our children's minds, right? This used to be considered a sickness. And I mean, they did it on a TED Talk a while back. I think in Europe they've been working on it to say like pedophilia is just a sexual orientation. Guys, do you understand where this goes? It's the long march to the institutions. It starts out small and innocuous, and then it continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. And when they said they were going to legalize things, it's not going to be an issue past legalizing gay marriage, and then it turns into now they want to pedophilia and transgenderism and boys involved in girls sports and completely destroying the foundations. I was reading
pronouns, bro.
Yeah, that's where it starts. I was reading Plato, right? Not Plato like the moldy stuff, but the guy. Right? And he was speaking, and it was such an incredible thing when he's talking about if the foundations of the people, of the children are taken away, and they begin to like and think about other things, that society is doomed. Like the core foundational values, that society is doomed. And he said the only time that it ever should be changed, if it's a change for the good from the bad. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you start bringing in things that are wrong, like if you start infiltrating on the nuclear family, that destroys everything else. That literally destroys everything else. Yeah. That leads the way to transhumanism, right? That leads the way to...
Which we have something on that, by the way.
Go into that. Let me cool off.
Yeah, cool off a little bit. I'm gonna talk about... we kind of veered off a little bit of Missouri in some ways, but I think we can come back with this about the World Economic Forum. And it was an article I just happened to read today as I was doing show prep. And it says, is your governor a marionette for the World Economic Forum? I thought it was pretty interesting because there is a what's it called? There is a council for all governors in the United States, and how they have a partnership with the World Economic Forum. I think all except for that one lady in the lady governor up in North Dakota. Boy, I got her name down, didn't I? Lady Governor? That seems right? So the question is, are they working together? Are they pushing something through the Economic Forum to the governor? So is Dolly a marionette
for this group?
For this group here, okay? And just some of the things, and I don't know if he is or not. I hope to God that he is not. I hope that some states are. I don't know about Missouri.
Right.
Dolly, if you're listening, I hope that you're not.
We know you're corrupt, but we don't know if you're this type of corrupt.
Exactly. I mean, there's some pretty heinous stuff that they've talked about here. So the people running the WEF, the World Economic Forum, have hired some of the world's smartest people without any sense of accountability to a living God or nor respect of human freedom. So who are working to improve humanity and the state of the world. And just some of the quotes. For instance, Noah Harari, he is a top advisor for the World Economic Forum's founder, Klaus Schwab. I'm sure by now everybody has heard of that guy. If you haven't, look it up and listen to him talk. It's kind of funny.
Sounds like, what is that? The Star Wars music?
The Imperial March, like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He's he's more of actually the Emperor. He's like the Emperor.
I guess you're right.
Darth Vader would be somebody else. So just some of the words that he says. Data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships.
That's not how he sounds.
No, that's I'm doing Herrera. I don't know how he sounds. I'll get to Schwab here in a second. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. That's the World Economic Forum, the top advisor to Schwab. This is what he's saying. He was quoted.
Yeah.
He was quoted.
Yeah, that's
this
what
guy doesn't care.
Right.
This guy does not care who hears this. So in the past, many tyrants and governments wanted to do it, but nobody understood biology well enough, and nobody had enough computing power and data to hack millions of people. Neither the Gestapo nor the KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all people.
And so he just references the KGB and the Gestapo. KGB.
He forgot somebody. Yeah. KBB.
Anyways, it's
they're doing appraisals on vehicles.
Yeah. Anyways, he references KGB and Gestapo and then says, but soon we'll be able to do it. Like, he's like, these tyrants weren't able to, but we'll be able to. Right. Like, this guy is insane.
Science is replacing the evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, or by intelligent design. And the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud and the Microsoft cloud.
Right.
These are the new driving forces of evolution.
Now, if you extrapolate a little bit, okay, the health passport, the framework of the whole test to stay model, the health passport, this is the foundation for the social credit score, which is the last step into this network, into this proposed goal. And Parsons seems to be facilitating it. And facilitate means to make something easier.
Yeah, so if the governors are beholden to the WEF, again, how is that even legal? But Bill Gates is a member of the WEF, and as a vaccine investor and collaborator, each time with a sly smile, there'll be another pandemic.
Yep.
So Bill Gates is counting on another pandemic. Why? How does he know all this stuff?
Yeah, how does he know? And then how does he talk about, what was it? How does he talk about smallpox outbreak? And then in one of the Merck labs, right? In that, what it is, in a cooler, which is owned by him and funded by him, there was smallpox found. Like you don't find smallpox in a place that smallpox doesn't belong, right? So either it's a scare tactic, to push further things down, or it's a precursor.
National Governors Association's partnership. So that's what it is. So one might think that the states have a right to say no to the WEF. However, if we look at the National Governors Association's partnership with the WEF, we see that they have an agreement. Isn't it interesting that nearly every state, except South Dakota, Kristi Noem, that's the lady governor I was talking about.
Yes.
Doesn't play ball with the NGA and had nearly an identical reaction to the COVID. He calls it plandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things was Klaus Schwab had an interesting quote. I guess interesting is a all perspective, I suppose.
That's interesting. Regardless, you may find it absolutely terrifying, but it's interesting regardless.
Yeah. So Klaus Schwab says the pandemic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, reimagine, and reset our world. The goals are also evidenced by another Hariri quote: "People could look back in 100 years and identify that the coronavirus epidemic as the moment a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin."
So what he said there was that the time when a surveillance regime took over, especially surveillance under the skin. Wild. Now, what's crazy is WEF and Soros are intertwined. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is Rehder, Holly Rehder, she also came out with some bills that are really similar to the Soros model of open society.
Yeah.
Okay. And so one of these things is the PDMP, which was it's the pain pill one. Anyways, I forget what it's called, the specifics. I always forget it when it's time to say it. I practice it and then I forget it. Anyways.
Quit practicing it.
Anyway, so we're going to, let me find this real quick. So the things that Open Society Foundation, they're talking about prevent overdose and reduce harm, HIV syringe exchange, and then opioid crisis response fund. So the same things that Rehder have been pushing are the same type of things that the Open Society Foundation, or Soros's arm, or one of his many tentacles, is also pushing. So the PDMP was to stop, tracking Schedule 1 or 2, 3, and 4 prescription drugs, mm-hmm. and passing it all over the place. So now we have a database of everybody that's going in and getting a prescription drug. That is between the patient and the doctor. That's their personal rights. That's what the doctor goes to school for. And that's what the patient has the right to go and see that doctor, and they make a decision themselves, right? There's a fine line between helping people with addiction and then becoming a nanny state. Mm-hmm. And we do not need the government to tell us what to do, because as always, when they get our data, when they get that oversight, they always abuse it. Always abuse it.
Give me an example where they haven't.
Right. Like the Patriot Act.
The Patriot Act. It's for patriots, right?
Right, but that's allowed wireless wiretapping or spying on people just because they say you're a terrorist, which now the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, says people with misinformation are considered domestic terrorists. Do you see how this works, guys? They make a law.
So the mainstream media is domestic terrorists.
Well, to us, yes.
Interesting.
They make a law, and they make an act, and then they make a statement, and then off of that statement, then they abuse the power that you've given them because they used an emergency. Like Rahm Emanuel said, you always want to take advantage of an emergency because you can get things done during an emergency that you can't normally do.
Never let a crisis go to waste.
That's right. A crisis go to waste.
Was the
such a
quote.
Trash bag.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I want you guys to understand too, Rehder did the PDMP, which is a nanny state tactic where it now logs all of your interaction with prescription drugs. This is so Mike Searpoint, who swears he's not a RINO.
Nope.
So this is his reasoning. This is his reasoning for supporting that bill. Well, there was already a database in our county, and it wasn't that secure, and so I wanted to go ahead and vote for one in the state. because it would be more secure.
Oh, bless.
I don't know if that's what he sounds like. I think he sounds like way not as cool as
Yeah.
that. But
That was cool.
I mean, I thought it was better than what he really sounds like.
Oh, yeah, that's probably true.
But his argument, guys, this is the way these people spin this trash. His argument is, well, we already had one. We already had something bad on the county level, and the
Let's make it
the
worse.
security wasn't bad, so I just said, hell, let's do the whole state. Well, did the bad security at the county level go away? Did it absorb into the state? That's interesting.
yeah,
Are we
I-
double spending? Do we have it on the county and then we have it on the state now?
I was
Why-
told not
what
to
are you
answer
doing?
those questions.
Mike Serapoit. Yeah. Oh, I did it because why don't you just be a constitutionalist and give us the rights that we demand and stay the heck out of our private lives? HIPAA.
we don't demand it. We command it.
That's right. Command
The
it.
Constitution
Command
commands
it. Yeah. You are a public servant, sir.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then also, so Holly also has the hypodermic needle exchange policy. This is how
yes.
intelligent this lady
Oh
is.
yeah, I forgot about this.
Yeah, what
let's
we
talk
need to
about that.
do, okay, we don't need to secure our borders.
No.
What we really need to do is we need to give people clean needles so when they stick themselves in their stupid state of being, fentanyl, God forbid, or heroin or anything else that you are shooting into your veins, we want to give them the opportunity to take those dirty needles to us and exchange them for clean ones.
Because it's about their health.
You know what they'll stop doing? They'll be like, oh, now that we know where we can go get clean ones, we'll get these off the ground.
Now,
And then we'll walk over in our heroin-induced state and take the time to get these clean needles.
Now those clean needles, the drug addicts, they're paying for these needles. Is that right? They're returning it in their.
No. We're
buying new
paying.
ones?
We are supporting their bad habits by making sure that they continually have clean needles to keep
Okay.
injecting
I guess
the stuff into their body.
What authority does Miss Thompson have?
Well,
to do
she's
that?
not very smart, but she's got a boatload of backbone and common sense.
I see. Because I worked today. I'm sure you worked, and I'm sure some of our listeners
Did work, and
foreign
there's a bunch of
listeners-
taxes that came out.
A lot of
My
taxes.
checks,
Gas tax and stuff.
gas tax, all that other stuff.
So when I worked today, some of that money, some of those hours that I'm going to have to pay to the government, that's going to
Definitely going to
pay
make
for
sure
some
that
needles.
the heroin addicts and so on can continually shoot up with clean needles if they decide to even come. But you know what? We're going to buy them needles anyways, just in case they do show
just in
up.
case they show up. Huh? Well, that is
Lady's a
that
genius.
is compassionate.
Lady
isn't
is a genius.
it? That's compassionate.
She's a genius.
Yeah, where are we wrong?
Yeah, Holly, where are we wrong? I tried to email you, but you blocked my emails.
What?
And you blocked a bunch of your other constituents. Holly, did you know it's illegal to do that?
Wait, didn't she reply back to somebody? Wasn't it the same
yeah,
response?
Yeah. So
I don't know-
it's
I don't
funny.
know if you knew this. Sam, but,
She got a bunch of different emails from a bunch of pissed off patriots, and then she responded back. Let me just find that.
Yeah.
Whoa. Watch your language.
Sorry,
Ticked
Miss
off.
Susan.
Ticked off.
So she says. This is, and remember, guys, this is about the amendment that that Brattin put on to protect our children from pornography in the schools on a sexual assault victim bill, which goes hand in hand. Thank you for your email. I, too, am concerned about the reading material / list in our schools. Are you? However, the issue is that Senator Brattin's amendment has enough opposition that it won't get through the legislative process, even though we have 24 senators.
Who's opposing?
We need 18 senators to vote. We don't know, but we need 18 senators
she
to
can
vote. We
give
got
us that
24
list.
Republicans, I think.
And we could put pressure on those people.
Maybe.
So who's opposing?
Who's opposing
having
it?
that taken out of school?
Rehder, who's opposing it? Let us know so that we can. Oh, are you one opposing it?
No.
Because she said it here that she's concerned about the reading materials on the list on the high schools.
She says that in here too.
She is concerned.
Yeah.
Do something then.
Yeah. Well, this is
You hack.
Well, she says this is an extremely important issue, but it's not it's not more important than mine.
However, actual quote. However, the issue that Senator Brattin's amendment has enough opposition that it won't get through the legislative process. He needs to spend time working with the senators that are opposed so that they can get it passed. Allowing his amendment onto our bill for sexual assault victims only ensures neither will pass.
How do you figure?
when we have the mass majority. I'm not going to allow his amendment to kill both. Oh, now she's saving both. When before, there's people who will oppose it, but you're willing to use the nuclear option to get rid of his amendment instead of using the nuclear option to make sure that amendment and both pass. But you're going to tell people in your email that you're not going to allow his amendment to kill both. You scumbag.
And that's a canned response because
everyone got it.
Everyone got that same response.
And the men who are touting that I won't allow their things on our bill for victims of sexual assault are only interested in getting a headline for their current campaigns. They are the epitome of a politician. Yeah. Yet she's the one who called the press conference. She's the one that just went recently on a radio show and talked trash about it, which is what you're reading from.
Yeah, quotes everywhere. And I love how, again, going back to civil, the conservative caucus are not being civil, but old Thompson here can say that a few all-male conservative caucus hijacked. I'll just go ahead and read exactly what she says. She told reporters that the all-male conservative caucus crossed a line Tuesday after her bill on sexual assault survivors was quote-unquote hijacked by a few men who wanted to talk about another issue. Now, tell me how that is civil. What if someone who said like an all-woman caucus?
Right. Why do you even say it at all?
Just a few.
Why does it got to have to do with sex?
Yeah. What does that have to do with anything?
Why does it always have to be identity politics with you
we
people?
would have got this bill passed if it wasn't for them broads.
And you know what's crazy is you literally, do you think we're dumb enough to fall for that trash?
Yeah.
People are they are spitting mad at you. Real women are irate with the fact that you and a lot of your other lady friends in the Senate who play this game. Somebody said that you're an insult to womanhood. A woman said it. I didn't say it. I'm just repeating it. A woman said it. And then a bunch of other women liked that comment. Some made a little fire emoji.
All woman group?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
See?
They need to be discounted because it's an all woman
all
group.
women's group.
Yeah.
So the point being is this lady responds back saying that she is protecting the bill, that he's not working with other senators. Let me tell you something about this amazing senator. We wanted to roast this lady from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. He wanted to have decorum. He said, no, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to get into anything personal about it. I want to keep decorum. I want to keep this
and we do not have his authorization
up.
To do this.
Yeah, no, not at all. In fact, I mean, he told us, no, I'm not going to be a part of that. And you, lady, well, your actions speak loud. Yeah. Kindest regards, Holly.
Holly.
Stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid. I don't want him to kill both. Ugh. Okay. Anyways, okay. Last thing I want to point to. I can't do this anymore. The last thing I want to point to, ranked choice voting.
Ranked choice voting.
So ranked choice voting. Remember when we talked about this before that John Hancock and Convict Barklage are the ones that are working to get this done, and they are Republican consultants. Remember that, okay? Remember how ranked choice voting completely destroys our one vote, one person count. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Anyways, Hancock and Prouty is the consulting firm. They received Better Elections. Better Elections is the ranked choice voting PAC or whatever organization that is pushing ranked choice voting. Okay, Better Elections. Dave Rowland is the treasurer of. He used to be formerly part of the Show Me Institute. Anyways, he's the treasurer of that, okay? Better Elections paid Hancock and Prouty, so John Hancock, the guy that signs his name in block letters, conservative Republican, Hancock and Prouty, he paid them $10,000. Better Elections paid them $10,000. Do you know who else paid Hancock and Prouty in the same time frame?
Who?
Missouri's Republican State Committee, which is under the leadership of Darley Parson.
Ooh.
You know how much they paid him?
How much?
$20,000.
Whoa.
So get this, $10,000 from Better Elections for ranked choice voting, $20,000 from Missouri Republican State Committee under Parson's leadership, okay? Why are you both paying people that are working for something that's destroying democracy? So I get why, Better Elections is just paying this hired gun to do whatever. But then, Parson, why are you coming in and having the Missouri Republican State Committee give them $20,000? Oh, and then Kehoe, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, because you can't win the election, so you need ranked choice voting to keep your establishment tail in there. You're paying John Hancock. You just paid him over $36,000 in this past year. Wow. Why'd you pay him so much? When is the election for that? Isn't it 2024? Is that when it is? When is that
for the
governorship? I think
2024. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Kehoe, why are you paying this guy $36,000 to keep him on your payroll when your campaign ain't even here yet? So you got $36,000 from Hancock. Got $36,000 from Kehoe. He got $10,000 from Better Elections. He got $20,000 from mRw State Committee. How much is that? 36, 56, $66,000 and some change, but that's not that important. $66,000 in change from Kehoe, from Parsons, Missouri Republican State Committee, and from the Better Elections. Are they not all in it together, guys? We have to infer that, right?
Yeah,
because
definitely.
You gave Hancock and Purdy, Better Elections gave Hancock and Prouty money, $10,000 to push the ranked choice voting. Missouri Republican State Committee, under Parsons' leadership, gave them $20,000 to Hancock and Prouty in the same time frame. Are you stupid and you don't know what they're doing? I don't think you're that stupid, Parson. And then Kehoe is also bankrolling John Hancock $36,000. You see, guys, the Republican establishment has waged war on the people of Missouri, especially the Republican conservatives of Missouri. They want to win forever. And if we aren't involved, and if we don't understand this ranked choice voting thing, and we don't understand the scandals that are happening, and we don't let these people know we know, they're going to take our state from us, because if ranked choice voting passes, we are doomed. I'm not kidding. We have to beat this on the ballot this year. This year, 2022, in November, we beat this initiative on the ballot in a resounding defeat. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Ding.
And that is everybody, not just Republican voters.
Everybody,
voters.
yes. If you ever want the opportunity,
yes,
if as a Democrat and you find a true blue dog, a real good Democrat person to run again, and you want them in office, this screws your chances too. Not just Republicans.
You're going to have
everybody. This destroys the representative government that we have. It destroys it, and it makes sure. Okay, and
Dolly,
you all know it.
Where are we wrong?
Where's
Dolly? Your motivation to do this?
What's that creepy lady that's your comms director? Have her send me an email and let me know where I'm wrong, and I'll read it. I'll read it on the next show.
Yeah,
I will. Anyways,
he's not a friend of the show.
He's definitely not a friend of the show. All right, and the very last thing, and we will let you all go.
We'll do the let's call out since April 5th coming up, school board.
Yes.
We gotta read those names.
Yes. So.
And I made a mistake last week. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Oh man, I tell you what.
I'm glad you said that, because I have some names too that came in the
shits on this. I tell you.
I have some names in the in my email, because Amazing Patriot listened to us and sent me names of all the different people that are running, which is phenomenal, and I'm super excited about that. Let me see if I can find it now. Here it is. Okay, so for Francis House School Board, it's Adam Bertrand and Randy Cook. For Wentzville School Board, who is fighting tooth and nail for this child pornography, or the pornography fed to our children, is Katie Lycek, Lyczak, Katie, in the hard last name with an L. That's what you want to look at on the box. And then JJ Suftko. That's Wentzville. Katie Lyczak, I'm sorry, and JJ Suftko.
Write to us. Tell us how we're wrong.
Right, please. and give us sounds like. St. Charles School Board, Brian O'Mara. And that's it. Brian O'Mara. So Brian O'Mara for St. Charles School Board. Katie Lyczak for Wentzville, as well as JJ Suftko. And then Francis House School Board is Adam Bertrand and Randy Cook.
All right, great. Well, I didn't hear back from some of the people that I butchered their name last week, so that must mean I got it correct. But we'll start April 5th. Don't forget, April 5th is the school board coming up on the election. Get out there, vote, help these guys out any way that you can. For the Liberty School District, Kyle Bryant, Dan Currents. Both of them are running for school board there in the Liberty School District. North Kansas City School District, Dwayne Barch and Josiah Betchold. B-E-C-H-T
It made me laugh again this time.
H-O-L-D.
It's not your last name, sir. It's him.
It's me.
him.
It's me. I have a speech impediment.
Something like
Impediment.
that. Impediment.
Kearney School District, Stacy Rule and Lynn Brattin.
It's been Brattin.
Park Hill School District, something that is near and dear to us, Corey Terrell and Tammy Thompson.
Yay, yay.
You'd have to vote for those two.
Yay,
please.
yay.
Smithville School District, Whitney Carlisle and Chris Palmer. Platte County, I got the other Mike. Remember last time? The Mike and Mike
Matusky.
M&M? Yeah, Mike Matusik. Met the gentleman on
Great dude.
Monday.
Yep.
Great man.
Mike and Mike.
And Mike and Mike. And then the other one is Mike Claxton. We've known Mike for a long time. I just didn't meet him the other night.
Correct.
I've known him for a while. He's a good guy, too.
He is, and they are fighters.
Yes, they are. They are fighters. And last week, I said that Joshua Hill is running an independence. What was I thinking?
Where is it?
It's Grandview.
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 That's right.
Right.
Look out for his new video
Yeah,
coming out soon.
A new video will be dropping soon, yes. Hey, Joshua, how are you?
How you doing, Josh Hill?
And then, of course, also Take a Stand Now, Missouri. Good group, good patriot group, great patriot group.
Medical freedom. They're teaching you about your medical freedoms, your rights, where you can go to find good healthcare providers, knowing what your rights are before you go into the belly of the beast, which is now considered a hospital.
Absolutely. So look for them. And also, again, as always, Melinda Clark Sand. She's the attorney. She's representing Ray's Cafe. She's representing families to get loved ones out of hospitals who are trapped.
Right.
It's unbelievable that is actually a thing that is happening.
She needs resources. She's on the website. All these people are on the website, but
Yep.
she's on the website. She needs resources of attorney help and website designer and a bunch of other stuff. Please go there, check it out. If you feel inclined to help, please do. If you can support her financially, that'd be phenomenal. Because again, a lot of her work that she does is pro bono because she's a good person and she doesn't turn people away when their lives are on the line.
That's right. You can find all this on our website, and of course, Justice for Riley. Don't forget the memorial fund.
Absolutely, Justice for Riley for his daughter, 100%.
Yep.
And then Andy Wells. So this is a new guy,
Wells.
W-E-L-L-S. Andy Wells, phenomenal guy. You want to talk about this is the guy who gave me all the information about the sick literature in the schools.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Andy Wells is the president of the Missouri chapter of No Left Turn in Education.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's the president of the Missouri chapter, No Left Turn in Education. And this guy's a fighter. I mean, truly a fighter, and he's in the thick of it. And you want to talk about somebody who has the information. You know how we just said, or earlier we said we want to figure out how they get in the schools?
Yep.
What process they go to? He emails me in the middle of the show and says, call me. I'll tell you
fantastic.
exactly. Thank you so much, Andy. That's phenomenal.
Thank you, Andy.
And we're going to try and have him on April 1st,
nice.
the April 1st show, because we want you all to be livid before you go to the ballot boxes on the 5th. And I think it's absolutely important. So please prepare to share this show, especially the one coming up on the 1st of April, because it's going to have Andy on. He's going to let you know all of the horrific things that are going on in these schools.
We may let him speak for the full 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, he could talk. He could fill it. He could absolutely fill it. But anyways,
Perfect.
we're going to make sure he's on. We're going to make sure that you all stay informed. We're going to keep fighting and standing in the gap for you as always.
Set your alarm.
Yes,
Contact
set your alarm.
Reps.
Contact your rep. Get in front of them. Call and email on a regular basis.
Get a hold of Thompson and send us the response that you guys get.
Yeah.
How many canned responses can we get?
And
We're gonna
then
make a bet.
when
Can I bet?
when she blocks you, send the message of her blocking you.
Oh, yeah,
'cause she
send
will.
that as well.
Yeah.
Let's send that as well.
What's your bet?
Well, my bet was going to say, I bet that out of all the people that do it, that send that over to us, I bet we get 50 of the same responses.
Probably right. If they haven't already gotten them
That
now.
matches the push-ups that Sam did last week.
That's true. You have to do 51 push-ups. Okay.
51.
And then very last thing, we are looking, I have a group of people across the state that are looking to form their own schools. Get out of Babylon. We'll take it down And as we take it down, we can also form our own. We have a group of people getting together. If you are interested, reach out to me at info@MissouriRhinoWatch.com, and we will get you included in the group. And by the grace and help of God, we will do this, and we will create a system, parallel society, that will allow us to show everyone what the right way is, and then put our kids into a safe environment where they will be educated and be able to take back this nation. All right, so that's going to do it for episode number 4 of Missouri Rhino Watch.
My goodness.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Senator Brattin.
Sam.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Senator.
Wonderful time.
Friend
God
of the
bless
show.
you guys.
Good night.
Happy hunting.